I mentioned at the top of the show that ICE has just broken a record of 2,200 detainees in one day. I guess the cussing out that fascist Stephen Miller gave to ICE and Department of Homeland Security to up the stakes, because they had only been going like about 600-700 people a day. They had a quota, which, by the way, a quota is absolute horseshit. If you really think about it, a quota is just ridiculous, because you're not saying that you're getting at the criminals. You're just saying it's just a number and we need to hit that number. Well, he recently raised it from 1,200. He wants 3,000 deportations every day. So Stephen Miller is on his Goebbels kick and he is full on. And apparently the Department of Homeland Security and ICE have heeded his call, his clarion call to action to throw out a whole shitload of people. He has done that. And here's a interesting story. A young man in Massachusetts, as a student, he was picked up by ICE and detained. He was not the target of the detention. It was he was driving his father's car and they were looking for his dad, and they realized that it wasn't his dad, but they're like, oh well, he'll do too. Anyway, have a listen to what this nice news lady from CBS has to say.
Today, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement announced the arrest of nearly 1,500 undocumented migrants as part of a multi-agency operation in Massachusetts. One of those arrested includes 18-year-old high school student Marcelo Gomes da Silva, who was detained by ICE agents while he was on his way to a volleyball practice on Saturday. Students at his high school staged a walkout in protest of his arrest this afternoon. And CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camila Montoya Galvez joins us now in Studio 57 with more on this. And Camila, what do we know about this particular arrest? It was a massive ICE operation.
Yeah, and this is really the latest case at the center of the nation's polarizing debate over how immigration policy should work and who should be arrested by ICE. We know that this teenager from Brazil, who has been living in the U.S. for more than a decade, was pulled over when he was driving to practice. And according to his family, he has no criminal record, despite that ICE arrested him. And top officials confirmed that he remains in ICE custody and that he was not the target of the operation that led to his arrest. They were actually looking for his father, and the vehicle is registered under his father's name. But they said that despite that information, they still took him into custody because he's in the U.S. illegally, according to ICE, and must face consequences. And this is really emblematic of a dramatic shift in U.S. immigration policy under the second Trump administration, because under the Biden administration, ICE operations were generally limited, Nancy, to arrests of serious criminals, national security threats, and recent border crosses, and crossers, rather. Not high school students and people who have been living here for multiple years without criminal records.
Also, Camilo, dozens, or actually I should say the Homeland Security Department has recently removed its recently published list of sanctuary jurisdictions from its website Sunday. What does that mean? What do we know about this?
Just for context, the Department of Homeland Security, pursuant to an executive order by President Trump, had published this list of cities, counties, and states with so-called sanctuary policies that limit local cooperation with ICE. And the president had instructed DOJ and DHS to file lawsuits and to withhold funding from these jurisdictions as a form of punishment for their immigration policies. This list has now been unpublished, but it is unclear why that is. The department said in a statement that it is reviewing the list and could update it.
And there's
Barack Obama was known as the deporter-in-chief. Joe Biden deported more people in his 4 years than Donald Trump did in his previous 4 years. We have been deporting the criminals for a long, long time. I do not care what Republicans say about open borders under Democrats. It's absolute horseshit. It has always been horseshit. Democrats have always been trying to prove their bona fides on keeping a strong border. And they're always, doing half measures and trying to impress the Republicans. Look, we're tough on the border too. So when Donald Trump says during his campaign that he's going to go after the criminal element and he's going to get all the criminals out, if you were doing 600, 700, 1,200 a day, you are going to run out of criminals. You're going to run out of them. And all that's going to be left is students, working class people, moms, their kids. We deported children, American children, they were actually born in America. One of them was 4 years old who had fucking cancer. I mean, what are we talking about here? We're going after school students. This kid was an honor student on his way to volleyball practice. The other day, ICE tackled a grandmother to the ground and her daughter who had a child on her. They are going after regular, ordinary, everyday folk. And with somebody like Stephen Miller at the helm, he does not give a good goddamn. If you are brown, if you are Spanish speaking, he wants you gone. And honestly, it's not going to stop with them. I mean, they want to get rid of Ukrainian refugees. They want to get rid of Afghani refugees. Remember all the people that helped us out during the Afghan war? And, Joe Biden is leaving all those people there. No. He brought some here and some of them got spread out all across the country. All across the planet. And they all got their refugee status, but now they're talking about kicking those people out. Stephen Miller and Donald Trump are not just going after the criminal element anymore. They are literally going after everyday, regular working folks that came in the right way. You always talk about people coming in the right way. These people came in the right way. This kid, this honor student that just got kicked out was here when he was 6 years old. Like he had a choice in coming here. And now he's going to have his ass shipped back to Brazil where possibly there is nobody there that he knows. A country he's hasn't been to since he was a fucking infant. And now he's gone. Now he's going to be shipped out of here. This is not going to stop. There's going to be more people sent to Big Kelly's dungeon in El Salvador or in the South Sudan or whatever country that Donald Trump can manage to do a tariff fight with and then make a deal. You build me some prisons and I will send you some people and then maybe we can come to some kind of arrangement on tariffs. They do not care about you. And eventually they're going to run out of those people and then who's next? You think that you're not going to be affected by this. It is going to come back and bite you in the ass. And yes, I don't give a good goddamn what Nancy Mace says. She is absolutely wrong. You do not have to be a citizen of this country to receive due process. And even if you are a citizen and there is no longer due process, how are you going to prove it? She made a snarky comment the other day about, well, there are documentations. You could have your birth certificate. What, now we're going to have to walk around with our birth certificates on us? I mean, have you ever seen a World War II film where the Gestapo is walking around, papers, please, show me your papers, show me your papers? Is that what you want? Is that the kind of country that you want to live in? Where you're going to have to make sure that you're walking around with your documentation at all times, just in case some fascist asshat wants to, harass you. And then, if you don't have your documentation, then we're just going to cart you off and send you out of the country. How are you going to prove it? How are you going to prove it without fucking due process? Nancy, you can kiss my ass. And Stephen Miller and Donald Trump can kiss my ass too. This is fascism, pure and simple. There ain't no other way to describe it. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.